Yesterday, she insisted he wanted a yo-yo by 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And last week, he was looking for pieces of broken dolls. Heads, arms, legs. Please do something, doctor. Please, for his sake. And ours, of course. The doctor arrived at the apartment building the following day. The hallways were dim, smelling faintly of floor wax and old books. He located the apartment, but as he reached for the door, he paused. The doorbell, which had been buzzing with the erratic energy of a failing connection, was silent. "Ah, Mrs. Milligan," the doctor murmured to himself, noting the woman in the hallway. "I think he has disconnected it. Down there in the basement." The exchange with Mr. Pilchick, another neighbor, proved equally unhelpful. "Oh, thank you." "Thanks anyway, Mr. Pilchick," the doctor muttered, realizing he had mistaken the man for his patient. "But I already found a brass thimble." The doctor composed himself and knocked firmly on the wooden door. He was a man of science, and he was here to bring order to chaos. He introduced himself as Dr. Jeremy Sinclair, and when the door finally cracked open, he braced himself for the manifestation of a troubled mind. Some other time, perhaps, the man inside murmured, "I have to look for a doll's head." The man was Edgar Witherspoon. He was an elderly gentleman, his movements possessed of a frantic, almost desperate energy. He did not look like a man who was suffering from a disorder. He looked like a man who was working against a deadline set by the universe itself. Dr. Sinclair followed him inside, his eyes widening as he surveyed the apartment. It was not a home. It was a workshop of the bizarre. Piles of scrap metal, bicycle parts, dolls, shoes, and strange, mechanical contraptions filled every available corner. It was, as Mrs. Milligan had suggested, a fire trap, but to the doctor's trained eye, felt like something else entirely. Felt like a machine. "Your niece, she worries about you," the doctor said, trying to find an opening for his clinical evaluation. "She is a very nice woman, so tell her not to worry." "See, a simple solution," Edgar replied, his eyes darting around the room as if searching for something invisible. "Thanks for coming. It has been a pleasure meeting you. But I have to get on with my work." "Your work? I bet you would like to know what it is, would you not?" Edgar asked, a mischievous glint in his eye. "Yes," the doctor admitted. "Wrong answer," Edgar retorted. "You see a doll's head here anywhere?" "You mean like that?" the doctor asked, pointing to a small porcelain object on a nearby table. "Ah, too big. Also brunette. I need blonde. And I need it in 5 minutes. And what for? You want Santa Barbara to fall into the ocean? Then stand aside, sir. Stand aside." The doctor watched in astonishment as Edgar scrambled through a pile of refuse, finally pulling out a small, blonde doll's head. He attached it to a contraption with the precision of a master watchmaker. "Woohoo! Just in the nick of time. No time to lose," Edgar exclaimed. "Mr. Witherspoon," the doctor tried again, attempting to restore a sense of normalcy to the situation. "I am sorry. I should not be rude. You have come all this way to see me. May I come in?" "And it was so nice, a pleasure meeting you," Edgar said, barely listening. "Tell my niece hello. Now, if you will excuse me, I have to stop the shaking in Santa Barbara." The doctor left the apartment, shaken and confused. He saw Edgar again the following week, the atmosphere heavy with the weight of the doctor's skepticism. "I do not know what I was thinking," the doctor muttered to himself, reflecting on his failed attempts to categorize Edgar's behavior. "I will call you, as soon as I can." He returned, determined to get answers. He found Edgar in the midst of his bizarre configurations. "Mr. Witherspoon," the doctor called out, stepping into the room. "Go away," Edgar snapped. "I am not home. It is Dr. Sinclair. I was here last week. You remember?" "Sorry, I was not home last week either," Edgar replied, not looking up from his work. "Mr. Witherspoon, I could legally force you to open this door to me. Is that what you want?" The doctor threatened, his patience wearing thin. "You are a curious one," Edgar said, finally turning to face him. "Odd, you mean?" Nosy. I am paid to be nosy. Curious, the doctor corrected himself. Really? Do you not think that is odd? Most people are curious for nothing. That is very nice for you. Are the hours good? Mr. Witherspoon, why do you collect dolls' heads, shoes, paper clips? I cannot afford Rembrandts, Edgar answered matter-of-factly. The doctor sighed. Please do not call again. I may have to. The next time it might not be so lovely, you understand what I mean, Mr. Witherspoon. Wouldn't you rather invite me in of your own free will? You must. You must. Be very, very careful where you walk, Edgar warned, his tone suddenly shifting from evasive to urgent. The doctor took a cautious step forward, surveying the strange construction that dominated the room. How is it, Cloushade? He asked, using the strange name Edgar had mumbled earlier. It is very interesting, Mr. Witherspoon. What is it? This? Yes. This is the only thing that keeps the world from going poof, Edgar explained, his voice hushed with reverence. Now, let me understand you clearly, Mr. Witherspoon, the doctor said, trying to remain rational. You say that this is what keeps the world from going poof. And it is not easy. Most things are nearly impossible to find. Where would you look for a skate key? Oh, I cannot imagine, the doctor replied. I found one, though. You think that is crazy? Well, you would not by any chance have a business card, would you? Oh yes, of course, the doctor said, handing it over. That was an easy one, Edgar chuckled. Well, I will not take up any more of your time. I have seen more than enough. The doctor sat down, the gravity of the moment settling over him. I used to be an engineer, Edgar began, his voice softening, lost in memory. Earned lots of money. Then I retired. Worst mistake I ever made. Life was so damned boring. And then the voice spoke to me. Oh, you also hear voices? The doctor asked, leaning in. You too? Please tell me about it. I was sitting in the park one day, feeding the pigeons, and suddenly, there it was, Edgar said, his eyes unfocused. The voice. Edgar, it said. Have you ever been to England? Oh yes, why? No, that is what the voice asked me. Edgar, it said. In the heart of Big Ben, there is a pendulum that tells the clock how fast to tick. At the bottom of the pendulum, on top of the big weight, there is a stack of pennies. Every so often, they take one off. The clock speeds up. Or they put one on. The clock slows down. The pennies change the balance just a little, but enough to keep the whole mechanism running perfectly. So, what you have here is some kind of clock? The doctor asked. Of course not, Edgar scoffed. Why would I build a clock? $3, any drugstore, does not lose 10 seconds in a year. Anyway, the voice said, Edgar, the world is a funny place. Little wars here, big wars there, volcanoes going off, storms, tornadoes. A terrific amount of noise and bother. You have to build something that will keep the world from going too far, maybe even going poof. What the pennies do for Big Ben, this does for the world. Who do you think it is who is speaking to you? The doctor asked. Well, sometimes I think it is God, and then I think no, God would have a deeper voice, Edgar mused. Would you care for a prune, doctor? Oh no, thank you, the doctor said, standing up. I was just leaving. But you have just arrived, Edgar countered. Oh, careful. I have no idea how the thing works. All I know is that the voice tells me what it needs, and I get it. The doctor left the apartment feeling less like a psychiatrist and more like a witness to something profound. He tried to reconcile the chaos with the calm. He tried to convince himself it was all a delusion, a symptom of a fractured psyche. But then the news came. The radio buzzed with the latest reports. Mideast stalemate continues. Congress passes Transportation Act. And in the South Pacific, the tiny island of Tatoa is destroyed by a tidal wave. The doctor stopped in his tracks. He remembered the conversation from the day before. There goes Tatoa, Edgar had said. At 3:17 in the afternoon, Tatoa became history because of you. The doctor felt a cold chill run down his spine. He called the newspaper, his hands trembling as he dialed. Hello, I want to check on a news story. I just heard something on the radio about a tidal